Well, I think I'm going to change up the XR's look a little bit. I don't particularly dislike the looks of the airbox on there, but it does make it a little fiddly when you have to take the tank off. And my boot is starting to rip under there. And those are no longer available from Harley. So I think what I'm going to do is I picked up some parts. I'm going to try to build the hose and put the cone filter on the side like the Free Spirits intake. So right now, I'm going to pull the airbox off, get the tank cover off, and then we'll see what we can come up with as far as fabricating. Okay, we got the airbox pulled out, tank's back in its normal spot. I didn't video taking the tank off or taking the airbox off because I've got that in several other videos. Right now I'm going to snap the cover back on because it goes right along here, and anything I come up with needs to go underneath the edge of that. And part of the reason for this was the airbox liked to make noise. It liked to make kind of a knocking noise when it was sitting there idling, and I found out that that was because the boot was just kind of laying on top of this. It wasn't down around this and cinched in place like it looks like it should be. It was just kind of pushed down on top, and it was making noise. And part of the problem with ripping the boot was extending the boot back down to where it fit onto here. Now when I got that down around this, zip tied this to this throttle body, the knocking noise went away, but the boot ripped. So I'm going to try this. So what I picked up for this little project was a cone style K&N filter from a local auto parts store because they were as cheap as eBay and got it quick. I'll put the part number down in the description. Then a 2.5 inch silicone 90-degree elbow and a 2.5 inch stainless steel elbow. As obviously we're going to have to cut this leg down a little bit to fit down under there and get it under the edge of the tank. But that's why I got one of these elbows that had a little extra. So I'll trim some of this down, test fit it. Trim a little more if I need to. Definitely better to not trim enough than to trim too much. Okay, I trimmed that back about as far as I want to go on the bottom because I want to leave room to clamp that on, of course. Still touching just slightly right there. What I think I'm going to do is cut that back to where the edge of the silicone is just slightly behind the tank cover because the pipe that slides in it will be lower. We'll see what that does. Got the silicone coupler back behind the edge of the tank. Now I've put the elbow on there, just test fitting it. Definitely think I want to move this in toward the bike a little bit, kind of nestle it right in here. So we'll go start trimming a little off this piece. Well, no, this mod's not for everybody, but if you want that kind of air cleaner, that's a cheap and easy way to do it because I think the Free Spirits ones were several $100s. I've got just a hair over $100, and that, like 60 of it was the filter. So that's a pretty cheap modification. All right, at this point, I really thought I was done with it. I took it out and rode it. Really liked it. I had intended to put a brace, weld something on the back and come down, but this thing just doesn't move much. I mean, that silicone coupler is like, you can see it there, it's like that 5-layer nylon reinforced silicone. It's strong. But I was going to leave it like this, but there's a little bit of a gap there. I think what I'm going to do is rotate the filter down a little bit and tuck it in just a little more. See if I like that. Now I do like that. Down just a little bit, but tucked in closer to the bike. View from the seat's good. Plenty of clearance all around. Oh yeah, looks much more tucked from the front. I am absolutely happy with that. I think I'm going to take it for a ride. There's what it looks like in action. That's about as much as it ever moves. That's the whole engine doing that little thump right there. When you rev it up, everything smooths out. Well, I just got 20 miles in. Wind's blowing like crazy, but I absolutely love that intake. No bad habits, not flopping around. This does what it's supposed to do. It's got a nice, the air rushing through it when you're low speeds getting on throttle sounds really good. It's got a different sound than what the airbox does. Keep in mind, if you've already got a K&N in your airbox, this is not really a performance modification because you'd already be getting plenty of airflow. This is a looks and a bit of ease of maintenance. But yep, I like it. Now I've got to find something else to modify on. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video.